Yeah.
And they told him, because he signed up to rerun for the park board, they said, you can't run for two.
Yeah.
He was told that last year. So how this guy got this pass, I don't know. But we'll
Sometimes
see.
you can intimidate the crap out of people. We're good to go.
Yeah, I need this now.
Let's make
I
this
just hope
happen.
the count prevails. That's all I care
Grant said
about.
it's okay, it's okay.
Yeah, let's go. Right?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call this meeting to order and welcome you to a momentous board meeting for Metro Fire. During this meeting, we will say goodbye and thank you to Chief Mark Wells, he's over there, who has provided us with great leadership. Then we will recognize Chief Todd Harms to lead us into this outstanding organization. I'd like, in a few minutes, for everyone to stand as representatives from Sacramento Firefighters Local 522 Honor Guard present the colors. When I ask you to stand, please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, and at the command of present arms. If you're in uniform, you shall render the proper hand salute, and if you're a civilian, we please ask you to place your hand over your heart. At this point, please stand. I was about March. Color guard. All uniform personnel, present arms. Please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order. Off. Close about March. Order. Post. Post. Ready, bang. Ready, drop. Order, off. Three, go. Ones, forward, march. Please be seated. Thank you. We're going to continue with a few business items, and then we will proceed with Chief Wells' retirement resolution and the swearing in of Chief Harms. First, the Metro Cable announcement. This open session meeting is videotaped for cablecast on Metro Cable 14. Replay is on Saturday, November 12th, 2016 at 4 p.m. and Monday, November 14th, 2016 at 6 p.m. on Channel 14. webcast at www.sacmetrocable.tv. The open session meetings are also available for viewing on the district website at www.metrofire.ca.gov. Now we have a public opportunity to discuss matters of public interest that are not on the agenda. Do we have any speakers?
There are no speakers this evening.
Thank you very much. We'll move to the consent agenda. Board members, any questions?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion we adopt consent.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. Board clerk, please call for the vote.
Director Mitchell.
Aye.
Gould.
Aye.
Orzali. Wood.
Aye.
Barnes.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Kelly.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
And Scheidegger.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. Let's go to presentation items. First item is Fire Data, a comprehensive 5-year evaluation. Fire Marshal Casentini, good evening.
This one? Yes, thank you. Good evening, President Scheidegger, Board of Directors, Chief Wells, and Chief Harms. Greg Casentini, Assistant Chief Fire Marshal with the Community Risk Reduction Division. The CRD division has many areas of focus, but tonight I'm here to present some important information regarding our community in relation to fire data and statistics. First off, I'd like to thank firefighter Sean Lemon, Administrative Assistant Michelle Dehoney, Fire Captain Chris Vestal, and Battalion Chief Barbie Law for the information and the hard work regarding a lot of this data and some of the operational work in the field. Also, I'd like to thank Director Teresa Murray with the Sacramento Regional Fire Dispatch and her staff. The goal of fire prevention is always to keep the community safe from fire. Our priorities are always life safety and to prevent property damage. Over the last several months, our team has performed a comprehensive 5-year evaluation of 6,000 fire-based responses from 2011 to 2016. With this information, we will be able to focus our education and code enforcement efforts to specific areas of concern. The concern areas that we're going to look at tonight are fire statistics, wildfire, grass fire response, fire cause and the value lost, fire-related fatalities, and also identifying areas of focused delivery. Nationally, the trend shows that fires are down 21% over the last 10 years. However, over the last 5 years, Metro Fire has only seen an overall decrease of 5%. I've got do a lot more information as to some of the anomalies with Metro Fire, but we need to start working towards following the national trend. Breaking down these fires into each battalion, we've seen some increases this last year. We've got Battalion 5, 7, 9, 13, and 14 in front of you. On the left is 2011 and 2012, and on the right side of each column is the 2015-2016 columns. Looking at Battalion 5, you can see that we've had an increase in the fires up to 341 this year. Other areas through the battalions have had some decreases, but we're looking at some of those increases as well. So the fires are placed into 6 categories. Green is grass fire, the darker gray is vehicle fires, orange is other fires, yellow is house fires, and light gray is apartment fires, and brown in front of you is commercial fires. Broken down into percentages, grass fires represent 37% of all of our fires in our district. Vehicle fires represent 24%. The other, which is typically dumpster fires, trash fires, and outside fires, represent 21%. House fires are 12%. Apartment fires are 4%. And commercial fires represent 2% of our fires. So taking a look at this map, we've got 3 different maps in front of you from 2013 to 2015. And this represents grass fires, which fire dispatch was able to run what we call this density analysis comparison. The lighter shades on each of the maps represents 1 to 2 calls per square mile. The medium colored red shades would be 5 to 6 calls per square mile, and the denser colors would represent 10 to 12 calls per square mile for grass fires. You look at 2013, you've got 571 grass fires, 2014, 679, and 2015, 482. Now, what's significant about this is in 2014 was the initiation of the CWPP program. So that was a grant-based program from the government in which we wanted to accomplish 3 things. Neighborhood risk factors were identified and community education and outreach was done. A lot of coordination with county parks regarding mitigation efforts was done, and also education with homeowners associations. So we do see a drop in the grass fire number from 679 down to 482 going into 2015. For 2016, our operations division gave us a lot of assistance with enforcement activities in the field. And we were able to conduct 850 property inspections this year with a compliance rate of 100% for mitigation efforts. Now, looking at this 2016 map, we can see quite a reduction through the Battalion 14 area along the American River Parkway and also down to Battalion 9. That's a significant change that we've seen with our enforcement activities. And we still had 481 grass fires, but I can tell you that looking at this, one of our big areas of focus is going to be on the north side of this map, north in Battalion 5 area. We're going to come up with a plan in 2017 to address the areas of concern up in Battalion 5. And there's a tremendous cost regarding these grass fires. You're looking at $300 per hour for each grass engine with the 3 firefighters on board. So you multiply that times how many units are going to go out to these repeated calls. There's a tremendous cost, and it's also taken away the responsibility that we have to go to the real other emergencies rather than chase these grass fires that typically don't burn into structures. So looking at the cause of fires that our arson investigators go out to respond to these, 51% are undetermined. Now, it's not the fact that they don't really know what caused these. A lot of these, we don't have witnesses, we don't have videos, but over 80% of the 51, they know what caused the fires, but they're not able to rule out every other cause. And we can't get into all the details regarding that, but it's very complicated. 8% of the fires are what we call intentional or arson fires. 25% are unintentional or accidental. 7% are the equipment failures, and 9% are currently under investigation. So year to year when we track this is all very similar information. So we need to continue to support our arson investigators and also educate our fire captains to have them call out our arson investigators on every one of these grass fires and also the home fires as well. So looking at the approximate property value lost, we've got $5.6 million in 2011, 2012, goes to 2013 to $5.3 million, and we see a significant drop down to $2.8 million in 2015, 2016. However, these numbers are not all that accurate, and I'll tell you why. Talking with our arson investigator supervisor, John Barsdale, he believes that this information is quite off, that we're grossly underreporting the value lost regarding property damage and property lost. And here's the reason why. When we had our fire marshal meeting here 2 weeks ago, all the regional fire marshals were in the building, that there is no consensus standard on determining property value lost. So we're going to start that program to come up with a consensus countywide in a format to determine property value lost based on national fire statistics and also the national insurance industry as well. You're looking at cost per square foot to rebuild. Right now, it's really an estimate from the battalion chief and the incident commander on scene what the property lost is. He actually thinks that these numbers should probably be doubled. So let's talk about the fire deaths in California and also Metro Fire. Although many regional factors such as climate, poverty, education, and demographics affect fire issues in the United States, one of the most useful ways to compare fire fatalities across groups of people is to look at the relative risk of dying in a fire. This chart shows that people living in California, Arizona, and Colorado, some of the other ones, New Jersey, were 50% less likely to die in a fire than the general population. Some of the other ones, Mississippi, District of Columbia, Oklahoma, have a lot of volunteer fire departments in there in a rural area. But California, your relative risk is 50% lower than the general population. So nationally, the overall 10-year fire death rate trend decreased 24%. And the most current data goes up to 2014, so that's from 2005 to 2014. The national death rate per million people is currently at 10.7. In 2014, the nation saw 3,400 people die in fire-related activities. Now, looking at Metro, here we evaluated 10 years worth of data. Metro Fire has had 24 fire-related deaths, with 71% being in single-family homes, 17% in apartments, 8% in vehicle, and 4% would be other. Statistically, we just don't have that much data to pull, but 24 is an extremely low number compared to the entire county, to other districts in Sacramento, and especially the state. This slide shows the breakdown of ages of our victims related to fire. 29% is your age range from 21 to 40. 25% is 41 to 60. 21% 61 to 80. 13% is your 81 to 100. And the 0 to 9 age of our victims is around 12%. All right, so what are we going to do with all this information? We've got to process more of this information, come up with future plans. But our areas of focused delivery following this information is going to be extensive. What we've identified as some of our priorities is to continue the fire extinguisher training program, which has been very successful. Continue the smoke detector program. Continue our inspection and code enforcement efforts. We're going to continue work on the CWPP. We're going to re-engage and continue with the FireWise community education. We've got a lot of work to do on that. We're going to double our efforts for fuel mitigation and reduce the cost for these grass fire responses, specifically up north in the Battalion 5 area. And finally, we're going to continue with our community education and outreach. At a future point, I'd like to do a future presentation for follow-up. There's a lot more data available, but with tonight's festivities, we'll keep it here. I'm available for questions, and that's the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Casentini, for an excellent presentation, data we need to see and react to. Board members, any questions? Director Rosali.
Chief, there was one question. You had quoted a figure on the cost per hour for fighting a grass fire. And if I got it right, it was $300 an hour. That seems way low to me.
Way low?
It does. How do we get to $300 an hour?
Yeah, that's good. So working with our finance division, we've basically got around $70 per hour for the firefighter. It goes up to $75 and then $77 for the engineer and captain. But we also bill at the OES rate for the vehicle at $80 an hour. So rough estimates about $298, so around a $300 per hour. You know, your typical grass fire, you might have 3 or 4 engines there for a couple hours. The bigger ones, 10 to 15 to 20, if not 40 units there for 5 to 6 hours. And that's typically what we see with these larger fires that are going to be 10 to 20, 30, 40 acres. Mm-hmm. So $300 an hour is our billable OES rate is what we figured out.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I always admire the level of data that Metro Fire has available to it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Director Jones.
Thank you, Mr. President. Chief, thanks very much for this excellent introductory report on data that we're going to want to look at month after month as your program progresses. Thank you very, very much for getting at this first level. A couple quick questions. On the chart for across the United States, was that like per 100,000 population?
Yeah, so let me go back to that. This one here, the relative risk
Yes, sir.
Yes, what they do is they take the averages per million people.
Per million. Okay,
Yes.
thank you. And then on the other comparative stats, were the years the full 12 months compared to our year now, which was just the 10 months through October 31st?
We ran a full 12 months as
You,
well.
yeah, okay, so that is an equal bar
Yes,
on the
it
graph.
is.
Thanks, Chief. And again, looking forward to hearing more. Thank you.
Thank you, Director.
Any other questions or comments? Again, Chief, thank you very much. Excellent information.
Thank you, sir.
All right, we're going to move on to reports. First, the President's report. This is going to be my last meeting. Last meeting as Board President and last member as a member of the Board. I'd just like to have a couple of thoughts to share with you. First of all, I have two words that epitomize my feelings: pride and gratitude. Pride in serving with this great team called SAC Metro. The sworn and civilian staff are universally the best anywhere. The leadership that Metro enjoys and will continue to enjoy is the best anywhere. And this board of directors, my comrades up here, hardworking, dedicated, they're doing this really for nothing except their joy, and their rewards are in the fine service that is provided to the community. It's been a real pleasure to work with all of you. My second word is gratitude. First of all, to staff at all the levels, but in particular to Chief Wells for his assistance and his fine leadership. It's been great to work with you, Chief. And to the best board clerk anywhere, Melissa Panea. You do a fantastic job of keeping us on the mark. Thank you. Finally, I'd like to express gratitude to my partner sitting over there. As of last Sunday, we celebrated 41 years. Quite a partnership. Thank you. As Assemblyman Cooley, and many of you know, doing this sort of thing takes a little bit of effort, takes some sacrifice. And I couldn't have done it without you, Marilyn. Thank you. Thank you for always being by my side, for being my partner. I shouldn't say by my side because most of the time you're in the lead. But in any event, thanks for being there for me, partner. And again, to all of you, thank you. And now let's move on. With that, Chief Wells, let's have a Chief's report, please.
Well, thank you, and I'll get to wrap up my other comments at the second part of this evening's festivities. But the upcoming events are the Dean Baker Memorial Crab Feed, and that'll be this Saturday night. I urge everybody that is able to attend that great crab feed, and it's in, I always say it, a memorandum of Dean Baker, who is a fantastic individual that passed way too early, and so we take the opportunity to honor him at the crab feed. I'd like to acknowledge the reassignment of, which will be on the 27th of December. Captain Matt McGrew will be moving to the day training captain spot. So good luck with Captain McGrew. A new hire we had effective on the 7th of November was Fire Inspector Dennis Witt. We welcome him. We've had Engineer Jeff Gibney retired on the 28th of October, and that was 22 years of service. And on the 1st of November, Captain Rich Schmidt, 29 years of service. So great, strong careers. Thank you for your service. And then we had a presentation on the Lucas device, a media event this last week, which was fantastic. And that was aired on the 7th of November. And later that evening, it should be noted that the crew at Medic 61 had a field save using the Lucas device. So again, our fantastic grants team was out there getting $407,000 worth of grants. We put a Lucas device on every one of our transport and ambulances and had a success later that same day. And so with that, I will wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving because there won't be a second meeting in November, and we will continue on with the festivities.
Thank you, Chief Wells. Chief Bridge, operations report, please.
President Scheidegger, Board of Directors, Chief Wells, Chief Harms, Eric Bridge, Operations Chief. This is quite the special night. I feel it privileged to give you maybe something a little bit different tonight. But before I go there with those numbers, I thought I'd let you know that we're holding steady with our dispatches for 911 calls over the last 2 weeks. We've had a total of about 3,600 calls. of which about 2,700 of those were dispatched for medical, and we would be transporting about 73% of those medical aid calls. Our good partners at AMR had 189 dispatches with about 123 transports. Excuse me. So the additional information I want to report out, we're just about finished with 2016, and we have some final numbers on our fire season deployment throughout the state. Actually, we did have some in Nevada as well, so don't want to leave our friends in Nevada out. But we've had about total for team deployments, we've been deployed to 27 different incidents this last summer. 14 of those were our OES team deployments, and part of our regional partners, we've had 11 deployments there, and then we've had 2 all-metro team deployments. So that totals about, total number of folks deployed is 337 of our folks have been deployed this summer. So that would also include much of our our overhead resource folks that were on management teams and things. So you can see we participate in the Master Mutual Aid System quite actively, and so I'm proud to be part of that group of folks that we have on these teams, because they represent Metro Fire very well up and down the state. So that's what I have, unless you have any questions.
And you should be proud. Board members, any questions? Thank you for, as always, a fine report.
Thanks.
General Counsel, Mr. Lavra?
Thank you, President Scheidegger. The only thing I would like to say is to Chief Wells, Mark, that's been an honor and a privilege working with you. A great guy, a great CEO. From the time he was DC in administration up to him being the fire chief, we probably consulted on hundreds and hundreds of decisions and advice. And I can say that he always made the decision for what was the right reason, whether it benefited this group or this person or that person or this contractor or whoever it was. The decision was still always based on what was the right reason, and that's what was in the best interest of the district. It was what motivated the man. It's what motivated him to make the outstanding decisions that I personally witnessed, at least from my end, on legal matters. So I'd like to say that publicly and note that. Congratulations to him on his retirement. And onward through the fog.
Thank you, John.
Thank you very much, Counsel. All right, is someone here from Firefighters Local 522? Welcome.
Captain Sean Condit, also Executive Board member for Local 522. The local doesn't have an official report out tonight, but I would like to take the opportunity to thank you, Director Scheidegger, for your service. Truly heartfelt thank you. Chief Wells, congratulations on your retirement. Thank you for your leadership. You've always been there for us through the good times and the bad. You're going to be missed. Thank you for everything you've done for Metro Fire and us, the firefighters. And welcome, Chief Harms. We're truly looking forward to working with you. We can't wait to get started, honestly. So that's what I have.
Thank you, Captain. All right. Let's go on to committee and delegate reports. The executive committee has not met. I'm sure one will be scheduled soon. Communications Center, JPA, Chief Bridge.
Thomas Board, we have not met since our last meeting. We'll meet again December the 13th right here.
Thank you very much, Chief. California Fire and Rescue Training, JPA, Director Kelly.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the JPA has not met since I last reported out. We are scheduled to meet on the 15th of December here at the SESC.
Thank you, Director. Finance and Audit Committee, Director Wood.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Finance and Audit Committee has not met since we've last reported out, and we currently do not have a meeting scheduled.
All right, thank you for that. Policy Committee, Director Gould.
Mr. Chair, the Policy Committee continues to wait with bated breath for a yet-to-be-determined date when we can dive in deeply into policy.
Thank you, I think, and there are some mints out there for that bated.
Oh, no, I got some in my pocket.
All right. Let's move on to board member questions and comments. We'll start with Director Jones.
Thank you, Director Scheidegger. I appreciate that. Three things. One, Chief Harms, welcome. We'll have some more words later, I'm sure. Wonderful to see you, and welcome to Metro Fire family. Chief Wells, thank you very much. Best of luck in retirement. Best promotion ever. And we'll be in touch. Thank you very much. And thirdly, a very deep, sincere, honest, heartfelt, all those kind of words. Thank you to Director Jack Scheidegger for his 101% commitment to this agency. There is no doubt in my mind that his work for Metro Fire and for this board, for everyone involved here at the district, has just been outstanding. So, Jack, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Director Kelly.
Chief Wells, I have the utmost appreciation and respect for you. The work that you've done here at Metro Fire in your tenure. I think I met you. You were a captain on a truck, and I was out on a ride along with a battalion chief. And knowing that that you came from this organization and that you gave it your all. And I'll tell you what, it's been a pleasure to have you at the helm. Chief Harms, welcome. It is with great anticipation. I have to see you come into this organization, put your hands on it, drive it, help steer it into a better place. I hope that your family likes the Sacramento area. I've been here a long time myself. I can't, understand why they wouldn't. And welcome to Metro Fire. And I would like to express my appreciation for Director Scheidegger's work on this board over the last several years. It's been a pleasure to get to know you. It is without a doubt that you approach this position with the utmost professionalism and dedication to doing the right thing. And I appreciate that. You and I have had some good conversations, and I will sincerely miss your presence here on this board.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. All right. Director Clark.
Yes. Oops. My fellow directors have expressed some of the sentiments that I feel. Chief Wells, thank you for your service. You did a great job. You came into this organization. We had a few things that we needed to continue with Chief Henke's work. And truly, you're a true professional. And you've never failed to help me out in my district, my division, when I needed help. And truly, the members of the community from my division appreciate your leadership. And I wish you Godspeed on your retirement. Above all else, I wish you good health, and the others will take care of itself. Chief Harms, I haven't had a chance to have that meeting with you yet, but we're going to do that. And I really I was impressed with you at the beginning, when we went through the process, and I'm looking forward to working with you. Director Scheidegger, my buddy, my 49er, 49er compatriot.
We're brave on that.
Yes, we are. I really, truly enjoyed your leadership at the helm, as president, and as the other directors have said, that you're a great guy, and I really enjoyed working with you. I'm going to miss you. I'm very sad about you, or you're not going to continue with us forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Director Orzali.
Thank you.
All right, now we'll move. Oh.
Knew that was coming.
I knew. Before we go into the diatribe, I wanted to thank Gay Jones for joining me at the State of the County a briefing that occurred earlier this week. I thought they did an extraordinary job, and it was well worth attending. And Mark, as I have said in the past, it has been an absolute honor to work with you. You have done a phenomenal job, and I remember sitting on your interview committee, which was the toughest interview committee I've ever been involved in terms of having high-quality candidates. And there was one decision, the decision that shifted this towards Mark came from one phrase, and it said, "In my experience, when you treat people like people, they generally behave like people." And that's Mark's philosophy. He has followed that through every single time, and I am honored to have been here with you. Chief Harms, I can't tell you how excited I am to have you fill in for Mark because he's old. And
that'll end your comments.
And we are truly looking forward to having somebody who can stay awake during a meeting.
Wow.
Director Scheidegger, there have been times when some individuals would say that I have made derisive and uncomplimentary comments about Director Scheidegger.
Is that good?
Let me assure you they were sincere. Jack has been an incredible nuisance since the moment he came here. And I, for one, am looking forward to damn near any kind of change. On one final point, Jack Scheidegger is the real deal. Jack has made a huge difference. His level of professionalism, commitment to Metro Fire is unsurpassed anywhere. This man has made a real difference, and that's all that can be asked. And I will truly miss you.
Thank you, my friend. Very much. Director Gould, can you follow that?
I'm not even going to try. Mark, tonight, as you retire, we see an excellent fire chief leave, but I think more importantly, we see an outstanding human being leave this agency. And that's really something we can't put a value on. It's just, it's going to be a huge hole. More importantly, I'd like to talk to Mrs. Wells and Mrs. Harms and Mrs. Scheidegger. You know, all too often, we really don't appreciate the sacrifice that our stronger halves provide this agency. And I don't think often enough we say thank you. So tonight, as we retire one chief and indoctrinate a new one, I just want to say thanks to you three, because it's without your support, we know, standing up here, that it absolutely would not happen. It would not happen. So from the bottom of my heart, and as a representative of this district, we want to thank all three of you for the sacrifice, the countless hours that you've missed your lesser halves. But thank you very much. To Director Scheidegger, I absolutely will miss what you just witnessed. It is incredible as an elected official to come to these meetings and deal with very difficult situations on occasion. But you can always count on the two youngest on the board to jump in and have that banter. And I think that's what brings us to these events on occasion, is to watch these two sage men discuss policy in a very unique way. And I can tell you that this agency has never had a finer director who has been committed from the very beginning to good policy for the residents of Sacramento County. And you will, sorely missed is a significant understatement. I wish you the best, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
very,
you, Mr.
very
President.
much. And you're right about that stronger. Right, Chief? Right, Chief? We know that. Thank you, Director Gould. Director Mitchell.
Thank you, Board Chair. To Chief Casentini, we thank you for that great presentation this evening. Without those type of facts, I think this board would not be able to make some of the decisions that they make for the betterment of this fire district. So thank you for that report. Chief Wells, and let me say my good friend Mark, everything's been said, but one thing that I would like to say, and I can only tell you this from the bottom of my heart, because we can't tell these people here for what I'm thanking you for. And I know you know what that is. And at a later date, we will let them know. So publicly, thank you for what you did. It just means so much. Chief Harms, certainly would like the opportunity to, as the festivities go farther, to say a few more words, but I would like to say this. I'm certainly the youngest person on this board, not maybe by age, but just by the time that I sit here. And I had the great opportunity to spend about 3.5 hours with you the other day. And you know, I gave you the wrong directions to the restaurant, you know? So, how does the guy in his career sit in that captain's seat giving his engineer the directions to get there, and the new chief gets here, and I give him the wrong directions to the restaurant? So maybe in the future we can have another lunch, and I'll let you pick the restaurants. So, Director Scheidegger, a lot's been said tonight, but as the newest person sitting on this board, you have been great counsel to me, as well as the other board members. You'll be greatly missed. And with that, I would say to you and your wife, enjoy your time that you don't have to spend here. And please, don't be a stranger. As you see, we have a large audience tonight, but it would be nice to look out there and see your smiling face and come up and shake our hands, and you will be sorely missed. We need more people like you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And I want to just confirm one thing you said. You are younger than Director Rosali, I'm sure. Director Barnes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You know, you sit here and you listen to all these great things being said about people, and you wonder, what I appreciate is how uncomfortable it makes them. I mean, let's keep it real here. You talk about Mark Wells, and he immediately puts his little snap glasses on and wants to hide behind them. But we came to a luncheon, and you watch about the interaction, not only from the uniform, but the professional staff. That's what I like to call them, because it is the organization as a whole that keeps this going as a first-class organization, which I like to call it. The 2 years I've been on this board, the leadership, not only from your seat, but watching you sitting in board meetings, contract negotiations, the report outs, after every difficult conversation or comment that comes in from the community, you call all 9 of us. Trust me, we have all 9 different personalities. But I appreciate that leadership. There's a lot of people that go out there, take a leadership role, read books, go to classes, and try and spit out the names and the $5 words is what I call it on leadership. And you've got the it factor. You had it. You always will, because that's who you were to the core. So I've appreciated that, watching that growth. And I appreciated becoming a friend. We'll talk about your golf game today. But I look forward to actually continuing that friendship far beyond. And when you look back as a leader and you wonder, what legacy will I have? Did I really make a difference? Looking here tonight, looking at what has happened over the past couple of weeks of people coming out of the woodworks to say goodbye, not only the members of Metro Fire, but think about the hundreds and thousands of community members that you've actually physically touched, helped, and saved, not only on the lines, but in that seat, making decisions to open up station houses and direct resources. Phenomenal leadership, truly appreciate it. And there's no doubt, I challenge you from this point, is to be retired and healthy for as many years as you put into this organization, because you deserve it. I always say milk purrs as long as you can. All right? Absolutely. Chief Harms, you've heard it. Big shoes to fill. You come from a big organization, so we expect the big ideas. What I love about it is we're a powerhouse in this region. We always will be in the state. They look to Metro Fire for our leadership. We're kind of innovative, as you see the Lucas devices that rolled out. So I look forward to collaborating with you. There's no doubt we're going to launch this into the next level and continue to do so. Jack, 2 years ago I've been here. I came onto this board, and I will tell you the leadership that you showed, not only for the board this past year as the president, but the passion you show for everybody that comes into your life, whatever it is. I will tell you, no matter who it is, he makes everybody feel important. You can be the person cleaning the floors to the fire chief, and everybody feels important. That is unique quality to have as an individual. You've had an amazing pedigree throughout your life. You know, the service that you had in a public sector, the way you've done it here as a board member, as a president, phenomenal. There's no doubt you're severely missed. You've heard it from everybody. There's no doubt as an organization, we will continue to keep our arms out wide for you, embrace you. You're one of us. You always will be moving into the future. I want to say congratulations to Jennifer Sheets. I met her in the parking lot. Look forward to working with you, and there's no doubt that as a board, as the board embraced me 2 years ago, they will do that because, as I said, it is a first-class organization. It's not about us. It's about the organization and where we take it from here. So for that, I thank you. My final thought, sorry going on, but Thanksgiving is coming up, was mentioned, and it's something near and dear to me in the public safety world. A lot of members are going to be away from their families on Thanksgiving, providing service and safety to this community. So speaking to the community, be patient, be thankful for that service because there's a lot of people that are not spending time with their families. So for the men and women of this organization, both uniform and professional staff, thank you for what you do on a daily basis. Thank you for making a first-class organization.
Thank you, Director Barnes, for your comments. And I really appreciate that you challenged the chief to a good, long retirement and not a golf game, because I heard about the last one. Good choice. Director Wood.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. It's always fun trying to follow all the articulate people that come before me. And said this last meeting, and it's even tougher this meeting to follow what's already been said. And Chief Harms, it's been a pleasure. Appreciate the time we've had. I'm looking forward to working with you. Welcome to you. Chief Wells, thank you so much for everything, your leadership, your friendship over the years. Enjoyed the last couple of years, the early morning commute calls that we've had whenever anything came up. So, and what I think it was Jim said earlier, when something does come up, Mark called all of us individually, one at a time, to let us know what was happening. It's just the kind of guy he is. So thank you for everything. And best to you, Chief. Jack, ever since I joined the board in February 2013, you've been very generous with your knowledge and your expertise in the financial and budget issues, and I appreciate your counsel on those. The loss of your experience and your integrity on this board is something that's going to be hard for us to fill, so thank you for everything.
Thank you very much. Well, I think enough has been said there. Why don't we move on? Good comments, all of you, and thank you all for your very complimentary comments. Really, really appreciate it. It means a lot. Thank you. Dignitaries, family members, staff, and members of the public, thank you for being here and to witness this formal transfer of authority and responsibility from one fire chief to another. Chief Wells, you've executed the duties of your office with dignity, dedication, and devotion. And as the board president, I speak for all of us when I say you will be deeply missed, but not forgotten, Mark. With that said, it's a pleasure that I now invite you, Chief Wells, to stand with me at the table so that I can present you with our Metro Fire resolution. This is the resolution I'm going to read from here. This is a resolution honoring Mark Wells on his retirement. Fire Chief Mark Wells will retire on November 11th, 2016 from Sacramento Metropolitan Fire District after 29 years of service here, and he remains a strong leader and a fire service advocate. Chief Wells began his fire service career as a resident firefighter with the Citrus Heights Fire District in 1987 and was promoted to the rank of firefighter in 1989. He was promoted to the rank of captain in 2001 with SAC Metro and promoted to battalion chief in 2006. He was promoted to assistant chief in 2010 and appointed deputy chief with oversight of human resources, finance, and information technology in 2011. He was appointed to the office of fire chief in 2014 and served with responsibility and integrity in every rank. Over the course of his career with Metro Fire, Chief Wells served in the Emergency Planning Special Operations Division as the coordinator for Hazardous Materials Response Team and Technical Rescue Team. Chief Wells served with FEMA, the California Task Force 7, the Urban Search and Rescue Team, with deployments as Task Force Leader, Safety Officer, and Rescue Specialist, and as a Metro Fire Terrorism Liaison Officer and Coordinator. Throughout his career, Chief Wells demonstrated service before himself when he was deployed with the Urban Search and Rescue Team to the World Trade Center on September 11th as a rescue specialist, and Hurricane Katrina in 2005 as a safety officer. Chief Wells also led a swift water rescue task force as the task force leader during Hurricanes Gustav and Ike as part of the California Office of Emergency Services Swift Water Rescue Team. Chief Wells worked collaboratively with the Board of Directors, command staff, budget managers, and Local 522 to keep Metro Fire on a fiscally sustainable path, which included restoring the services of Engine 68 and 106, and last operated on a regular basis in 2011, and also put Truck 26 back in service through a safer ground. This is a lot to read. You are really a terrific guy. During Chief Wells' tenure, the Board of Directors adopted the terms of a tentative agreement between Metro Fire and 522, agreeing to matters related to wages, hours, and working conditions through December of 2018. Chief Wells is passionate about the success of Metro Fire and assisted the Board of Directors in enacting a 5-year strategic plan. Chief Wells had the opportunity to see the strategic plan through the first year and presented the essential components and staff's diligent efforts during the annual workshop. The Board of Directors, on behalf of Metro Fire, its employees and retirees, does hereby gratefully acknowledge all of the services rendered by Mark Wells. The Board expresses its highest respect, deepest appreciation, and sincerest thanks to Mark Wells for his many years of skilled performance, humble respect, and deepest commitment to the fire service. Be it further resolved that this foregoing resolution was passed and adopted by the Sacramento Metropolitan Fire District Board of Directors. This resolution signifies 30 years of dedication to the fire service. Congratulations, Mark.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Did you get me to look tall? All right, let's see, what are we going to do next? Now, what I'd like to do, it gives me a great honor to introduce Assemblyman Ken Cooley, who I understand also has a resolution. Assemblyman, please. Thank you. Thank you.
As I start, I actually want to acknowledge just public service generally with Jack's concluding his time. And Randy, I appreciate your good-natured jest about falling asleep on the dais. So if I may surf on that idea of sleep, you know, one of the great quotes about public service comes from us from a Nobel Prize winner, a Bengali poet in 1913. And Rabindranath Tagore. He was a Bengali poet, as I say, so the name doesn't roll off my tongue. But he said, I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life was service. I acted, and behold, service was joy. So as you wrap up 30 years here, as you wrap up your tenure here, certainly your wives, your kids would see that the service has been a source of joy. And we need people that understand that magic, that service is joy. So it's an honor to be here tonight. I have a resolution. It's not just from me. It's from a number of my colleagues in the State Assembly. So your Assembly Member, Brian Dolly, is on this resolution. My good colleague Beth Gaines, who was termed out this year from the State Assembly, she is on this resolution. Kevin McCarty, downtown Sacramento. Jim Cooper, and I want to allude to some of Jim Cooper's career here as I address these remarks. It's very similar to the one we just heard, sort of recounting your career. But what I want to say is 30 years in the fire service, 30 years in the fire service in Sacramento. These are 30 years in which the nature of the fire service has been changed. You know, we had, I'm going to recount some bad things that changed the way people understand what it means to be at risk as a first responder. You know, we had the Unabomber way back then. We had people picking up packages in a computer store parking lot and dying. Gilbert Murray, another gentleman, just a random sort of bombing. My colleague Jim Cooper, who was with the Sheriff's Department when the whole Good Guys thing went down, the drama of that. We had the Marah bombing, 1994, which, where did that come from? What was that all about? We had 9/11, which they said you participated in the response to that. The whole rising, the development, starting here in California, of the standardized emergency management system, the federal government with the National Emergency Management System, the evolution in the systematic response to crises. I appreciate, Chief Bridge, your remark on mutual aid. Mutual aid is something that's dramatically changed over those decades of your career, Mark. And then just the whole nature of the threat environment, that is even in the lexicon, threat environment. And all of these are part and parcel of being a first responder, to being the person who's just going to show up and jump into the soup, whatever that is. And so I know that you will find ways after your 3-month commitment to your bride to share the insights that you've acquired. And particularly as I listen to the adoring comments, which reflect upon your professionalism, but your people skills. You know, I think we need people at all levels of government as we face these sorts of problems that can contribute what they've learned, their wisdom, their experience. And so I'm sure there'll be ways that you can do it, but maybe sleep in on occasion. So I am very honored to present to you, Fire Chief Mark A. Wells, this resolution on behalf of the California State Assembly. And as I say, while it has my name at the bottom, it was just a series of quick little phone calls to your assembly member, my colleagues, and they were all just falling into line, falling over themselves to honor you and to have their name on this resolution, commending you for your long service. So it's a pleasure to be here.
You're Sean. I'm Jack. That's my Jack.
Turn this thing on. I'd like to thank everyone tonight for being here. I can tell you, and everybody knows me, knows that I am sincere when I say this. This has absolutely been a privilege to work here at Metro Fire. It's been a privilege to be the fire chief for the last couple of years. Truly, it's just been a time that I leave with just pure gratitude in my heart, and so I appreciate that and thank you. I'd like to, of course, thank my family, but my wife Gina in the front row there. We refer to, or it's not the better half, it's the better 2/3, and everybody knows that knows us. But I would also say, my son Ryan and my daughter Lauren, who are working this evening, unfortunately, but are with me in spirit tonight. I can tell you that just fantastic family support. I could not be anything without my family, and so thank you very much. I appreciate it. So the men and women of Metro Fire, truly an honor, standing shoulder to shoulder with each one of you, serving this great community that we have, most of us have grown up in. I was 22 years old when I started here. So I want to thank you for the last 29 years. It's been outstanding, and I could not have picked a better group of folks to work with. The board of directors, it was said earlier, but clearly this is I've been around a little while watching the board meetings and interacting with each of you a lot in the last number of years, as an assistant chief in charge of HR to the deputy chief in charge of admin, and then, of course, the fire chief. Outstanding board, and I know that the policy level and the decisions that are made in the interest of this community are first rate. So thank you. Specifically, Director Scheidegger, and I'll sneak over here. There he is over there. Sorry.
I'm hard to spot.
Yeah, I thought you were behind the flag on me there. Sir, thank you. Thank you for your leadership, your guidance, and you're truly an individual that people would like to be more like, because you're fantastic. Thank you for your service to this board. Chief Harms, I can tell you how optimistic I am. You know, I've been here for a while, and I didn't know how this was going to go. And I would tell you, after meeting you for the first time and your lovely wife, Katie, back in August, I had a very real sense of peace about this from the very beginning, because I know the type of individual you are, and I can leave knowing that Metro Fire is in great hands. So thank you for your leadership, and I look forward to you taking Metro Fire to the next level. Thank you for being here. Also, I'd like to thank and congratulate Katie and Allie and Sean. Thank you. Welcome to Sacramento. Sacramento is a wonderful town that you will soon learn that you're 2 weeks from the coast, or 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Yeah. Well, maybe if you walk.
Wagon.
Yeah, you can walk. It might be 1.5 if you walk. 2 hours to the coast. You're going to be skiing right out your backyard, and you get to serve with the fantastic members of Metro Fire. So welcome to the Metro Fire family, and we mean that. So welcome. I'd also like to publicly acknowledge my appreciation of the International Association of Firefighters and Local 522. You know, in 30 years of being a firefighter, we've come a long ways. I remember safety equipment. You know, I bought my first pair of boots here, and if you wanted a grass coat, you had to go on a wildland fire. And I can tell you the safety and the legislation that has been put in place to keep all of us healthy and safe to get to retirement, a lot of that is the efforts of the International and specifically Local 522. You know, the presumptive cancers and the presumptive cardiac legislation, well done, and I appreciate all the work we've done together. So tonight I leave here, and I want to also say, and she's going to be mad at me, Jill, thank you. Yeah, she's mad at me already. You know, she's been really working very hard for me. Literally, we share every day at work, and so thank you very much. And the last couple of weeks, or 3 weeks, you've been really going and working closer with both Todd and I, and thank you. So I leave here tonight with really that sense of gratitude. Thank you. And being a firefighter was the best way I could have thought about spending my professional life. And really, I thank all of you for that. Thanks.
You earned every one of those accolades. Well done. Chief Harms, I'm now honored to conduct this portion of the ceremony. If you join me, I'd like to administer the oath. On our spots. I, your name, do solemnly swear
I, Todd Harms, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
that I will obey the laws and ordinances of the County of Sacramento,
I will obey the laws and ordinances of the County of Sacramento,
familiarize myself with and be obedient to
familiarize myself with and be obedient to
the rules, regulations, orders, and policies
the rules, regulations, orders, and policies
of the Sacramento Metropolitan Fire District,
of the Sacramento Metropolitan Fire District,
and faithfully serve the district
and faithfully serve the district
and the members of this community.
and the members of this community.
In the discharge of my duties as fire chief,
In the discharge of my duties as fire chief,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations, Chief. All right. Now we're going to move on to some serious stuff, some pinning. I'd like to ask Katie Harms, Chief Harms' wife. Hi, Katie. Welcome. Please join me. Thank you. That's fine. And Allie and Sean, please join us. All right. Here we go. This is the big moment. Would you do the honor, please?
Absolutely.
Please don't hurt him. He's fragile. Careful.
This way, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Wow, good job. Allie? This. Hopefully it didn't stick you. All right. Are you practicing?
Yeah.
Sean, please. All right.
Pressure.
It's a lot of pressure. A bunch of people in this room.
Family did a great job, Chief. Congratulations.
We need a picture of Mark and his wife with him. Maybe a suggestion.
Let me keep moving.
To signify the changing of the command, I will soon pass a trumpet to you, Chief Harms. As you know, when American volunteer firefighting companies began to form during the late 18th century, a need emerged for organized efforts and better communication in combating the conflagrations. Officers would use speaking trumpets or bugles to amplify their voices over the noise and the commotion of a fire scene to direct the company to effectively fight the blaze. Oftentimes, officers called cadence through the trumpets to keep the men on the hand pumpers in time. The trumpet or bugle was worn around the officer's neck so they could be easily identified as they directed firefighting operations. The trumpet or bugle around the officer's neck led to the designation of an officer in the fire department and has been carried on to this day as the insignia of rank worn on the uniform collar. Chief Harms, it is my pleasure to come up at this time to pass command of this outstanding organization to you.
Stand up.
You left the snap glasses for me. Not yet. What a night. First off, I'm just amazed by all of you that are here today. I'm honored that you would take the time to be here to support Chief Wells in his passing of the command to me, and for everybody for being here. I'll embarrass Jill too. Where's Jill at? Thank you and your group of folks. It has been for 3 weeks, instead of just one chief to kind of keep going. You have done a great job of keeping Mark and I going, and this looked pretty seamless, but today at 1 o'clock she had us both standing up here telling us exactly what we were supposed to do. And I just look forward to working with you, Jill. Every organization needs to have a Jill that keeps really the fire chiefs in line there. I'm very grateful for the support of a lot of people. If it wasn't for the love and the support of those people, I wouldn't be here today. That number one person for me for the last 26 years has been my wife, Katie, who is here with me, and also my kids that are sitting there clapping in the front row. Thank you for being here, and yes. Much like Mark, I had just finished a almost 30-year career, and I did retirement for 10 days. And then I told my wife we're loading up and we're going to Sacramento, and she has been behind me 100%, and it has been that way since the very beginning. So thank you very much. And for the two kids next to us, thank you guys for loading up and being supportive through this whole adventure with us as we move forward. Sitting right behind them, I have to mention my Arizona contingent. Is that there is a number of people that have been co-workers for 30 years, but more important, they have been my friends, and they have been the people that have supported me. Right behind my wife is Chip Gleason and his wife. That's where you wave. There he goes. I'm going to embarrass him as long as I have him here. Elby Bashong and his wife. A lot of you know Chief Bartee, who is probably part of the reason why I'm here today, is he is the one that called and said, you really need to think about coming to Northern California, and he is the chief, and his wife is here. And next to him is Brian Moore. Brian Moore is here. He's a captain with the department and also a member of Local 493 that is here today, too. So thank you guys for being here and supporting both myself and Kate as we go along. The next thing I'd like to do is thank you all as directors, is that you have, or we have had a great fire chief in Chief Wells, and for you to pick me to be able to come here, I'm honored, and that you have the trust for me coming forward. This past three weeks has really showed me what a great organization this district is. And I really look forward to being here and jumping in and moving forward on Monday morning. Over the past 3 weeks, the senior staff, Darren Taylor, Brian, and Eric, thank you all for just spending time with me. And I know it was the Cubs game was coming up, but the one night Eric and I sat out in the parking lot until about 6 o'clock at night talking about really the department and the district and what's going on. So thank you guys. I know Brian Rice and Ty were not able to be here, but Sean and Pat, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for lunch the other day, Sean, and inviting me over to kind of hang out with you. I look at Local 522 and us working together in the future. I really appreciate your hospitality the other day. Thank you. Thank you. I'd like just to recognize Chief Wells in his 30 years of accomplishments, but coming up here and just kind of just meeting Mark, him and I did a lot of phone conversations, but I would say in 3 weeks, I think the two of us have talked more than we have talked to our families, and I really think that if we would have had the opportunity to work together, we would have had it would have been a great partnership on it, and I hope that you've already said you're not going too far away. But if you look at most fire chiefs that are leaving there and a new one is coming in, the other fire chief is either gone or you walk into an office and it's absolutely empty with nothing that's in there and you're trying to figure out even just how to turn the computer on. Mark has been just unbelievable during this transition, and as he said, he's going to be here in the future. Last but not least is just to the members of the district, is that the few station visits that I've been able to do, my goal is to get out and meet with each division within the department, and then to get out and meet with each station on all 3 shifts. I'm not sure how long that will take, but that is my goal, and we'll make it through there in 2017. The last thing is just looking to the future. The department has a great mission of protection, education, and service. It has very strong core values that we see up there on the back of the wall. But as your fire chief and with my senior staff, I look forward to being focused on our mission, service delivery, the members that we have out there in our partnership with Local 522, and then safety and training for the service we deliver out there every day. In closing, I'm proud to be your fire chief, and I look forward to this great opportunity in the future.
Arms, welcome. You've had 10 days of retirement. Time to get to work. I know I speak for everybody up here and everybody in this audience when I say we're looking forward to working with you. You're joining a first-class organization, and you're bringing all the tools and the personal compliments that we need and are looking for. Thank you for coming here. We're looking forward to it. Well, speaking of thanks, I thank you all for attending and participating in this tremendous event. Again, all the best, Mark, to you in your future. Todd, to you in our future. And thank you again for joining in this, and all the best to all of you. Thank you. Good night. Yeah, I want to hear more about that. I really do. Your assistant. I got to get this figured out before Chris says something. You will be missed, but do not be a stranger. Do not be a stranger.